Today I'm going to be talking about radical self-love, and I think it's such a hot topic right now. It's such a juicy topic, it's such a deep topic, and it's something that we all struggle with. I think it's one of the hardest things for us as adults is self-love, and I think part of the reason around that is because one, what I know to be true is our conditioning, our programming, social influence, what society has to say around self-love, what we've been taught around self-love growing up from our role models, what's been modelled to us around self-love also. And we're born loving ourselves. As babies, we're born into this world with full self-love and honouring our needs, asking for what we want, and we receive so much love, and we receive so much love for survival. That's what we need, and we ask for our needs and we have them met, and it feels so easy and it's so simple and it's undeniable. As babies, we don't think, oh, can't ask for this, can't demand my milk, can't cry for attention, for love. But then there comes a point when all of a sudden we're expected to just become independent. And actually then we're taught that asking for love or asking for our needs met starts to become a bad thing. You're too much, too demanding. You want this, you want that. And where is that transitional process? Like, where is that explained? When we're this child, we have all this love and it's amazing. It's our core basic human need is love. And then we go through this transitional period where that's kind of stepped back a bit. And I think that's really confusing. And then we step into defining our version of love. And I think when that transition happens, we learn and understand what love is as we grow from babies into 7, from 0 to 7. We're like a sponge. We have this open mind, and our programming and conditioning and everything that we learn and take into adulthood with us is formed during those years. And then it's kind of the lid goes on, then but that's it, that's our programming, that's how we go out into the world. And as children, we rely very much on our senses, and when things aren't explained, or we just have to make sense of what is, we will just make sense of what is. And when it's confusing, we will make up our own sense of what that is based on our experiences. And we create our own definition of self-love from there on outwards. Everything just completely changes for us. And there's so many elements to self-love. And I think it's a very, very personal journey, and it means something different to all of us. And I'm so curious to know what self-love, please pop in the comments below. Let's have conversation. What self-love means to you, and what comes up for you when you hear the words self-love, and what sensations and feelings and emotions does it come up for? What? Sorry, I've spoken so much today. What thoughts, feelings and emotions come up for you when you see someone who embodies self-love, or what you believe the embodiment of self-love is? You know, when someone just walks into a room and they just radiate and they're confident and proud and they just carry themselves a certain way, and it's like you're kind of in awe and admire them, and it's like they must have some radical self-love. Like being really honest with yourself and remembering there's never any judgment, it's only curiosity, wonder, fascination, awe around ourselves and who we are and what thoughts and feelings that we have. And so I would love to know the answer to those three things. What comes up for you? Does it trigger you? What do you think? What feelings does it bring up for you? And most of the time, is it our triggers, the messengers. Oh, can you hear that? Everything is safe, we're not flying away, but you might hear some background noise in the garden with everything kind of flying around, but I'm here for it all. I'm here for it. They're our desires. So when we see someone, we're like, oh, super in awe of that person. It's because deep down we would kind of love that for ourselves too. Or if we're in judgment of them, why is that judgment? What have we been taught? What does that mean? What did someone teach us about self-love? It's all about becoming really curious about ourselves and on this journey. And that is what I love so much, an open mind, curiosity. And we cannot be in curiosity and judgment at the same time, which is something I absolutely love. So when we're working on ourselves, if we continue to have a curious mind, we take ourselves out of judgment, which means we can dive deeper into our work. We can get deeper breakthroughs and growth and light bulb moments. And it's really cool and fun because we all have an inner voice and we all have an inner critic and we judge ourselves so much, but there's nothing that really can come from that in a positive way, but we judge ourselves so much and we also judge others too. You know, we do. And it doesn't matter how spiritually enlightened you become, you still catch yourselves in a moment. And that's absolutely okay. It's just about recognizing and having self-awareness. And so I thought I would Google self-love to see what the actual dictionary definition says, self-love. And actually, I really loved what came through, and I just want to share it with you because I thought, yeah, I like that. Self-love is a state of appreciation for oneself that grows from actions that support our physical, psychological, and spiritual growth. How lovely is that? And when I read that, I thought to myself, how can you say self-love is selfish when it's an appreciation of oneself for your supporting your physical, psychological and spiritual growth, your emotional well-being? When you have emotional well-being, you have everything. That's when you become rich in love, rich in life. Self-love is about finding your way home to your heart and reconnecting. And I really believe that this journey of self-exploration and self-discovery and healing is about falling deeply in love with yourself and all parts of yourself. And I'm going to talk about self-acceptance and all the different parts of us that make up who we are and fully owning all of that as this, you know, these 30 days progress. But today I specifically wanted to just land in around self-love. And I think self-love, self-forgiveness, self-acceptance, like they all play, they all make up. They're all part of it and they're all part of the journey. And the self-love is a connection to self and falling deeply in love with yourself and learning to choose you and putting your needs first. The same way you've probably heard the analogy of, you know, when you're on the aeroplane, you put your mask on first before your child because you have to save yourself. If you're not well, how can you care for anyone else in the way that I know you really want to? Because I know you have a massive heart and you have so much to give. But the question is where is that? Where are you giving from? And most of the time we can be coming from a people-pleasing place. So we're giving love because we want to, and it's joyous. 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 If it's coming from a place of depletion, if it's coming from a place of we don't love ourselves enough, so we're doing it to receive love. We're doing it because we want approval. We're doing it because we want to be liked. We're doing it because we're scared of conflict. It's the intention behind what we're doing. Whereas if we're so deeply in love with ourselves, what happens then is we come from a state of overflow, where it feels effortless to give. loving yourself is the best thing you can do for yourself and absolutely everyone around you 100% of the time, because then you can give in the way that you really want to. In the way that you want to, because it's just overflow and it's joyous, and what people are receiving from you, they're receiving that energy in a completely different way, because energy doesn't lie. And we never want to be coming from a place of doing things because we have to, or because we're seeking approval, or we're seeking to want to be loved, because we're looking for love outside of ourselves. Then we're coming from this energy of, I need this, I need this, I need this, I'm doing this because of this. Intentionality is absolutely everything. And people receive the energy from you so differently. Whereas if someone can show up and they just want to, because they've got so much to give, it's pouring out of them, it's pouring out of you. You're like, everyone have some love. Like Oprah, but instead of throwing out cars, you get some love, you get some love, you get some love. Grand prize love. Because you're well. And people love to be in the energy of people who are filling themselves up. Feels good, right? When you're hanging out with someone who loves themselves, you're like, oh, yes, this is good. And you fill up on that too. And you get to give, and you still get to keep some for yourself too. You get to give, and you get to keep some for yourself too. But it's not easy to love ourselves when we are taught that it's vain. We are taught that it's selfish. We are taught that it's self-serving. We are taught that, you know, oh, look, who does she think she is? You know, people don't always like it when you have boundaries. People don't like it when you choose yourself. But that's on them. But we can give more to those people by us loving ourselves, and by us leading the way. It gives permission for other people to love themselves too. 100%. When we're all just trying to prop each other up and no one's really strong enough, we're all just trying to prop each other up. But then the person that just chooses to choose themselves and keeps going and going and going, they have the strength for everyone. And that's awesome. And it's just pure. And the energetic exchange amongst everyone is just pure. And it's full. And it's letting go of feeling that it's selfish to love yourself. I grew up feeling like it was selfish to love myself in so many ways, and being happy, jolly, happy-go-lucky, you know, wanting to take care of myself and pride of myself. And sometimes I was told that I was too much, because I was this innocent child. I'm not perfect, by the way, and navigating growing up was a whole thing for me with my emotions and hormones, and, you know, but I just had this feeling of like, I just had this sense of love, and I just saw love everywhere, to the point where I was probably quite annoying, because I didn't understand why everyone couldn't see what I could see. And I was so connected to it and myself. And I saw self-love as being happy, but my happiness was seen as a bit too much. I always wanted to experience joy and to play, and I always wanted to bring people together and do fun things, and, you know, and it was seen as too much. It was seen as bad, and it was like, if you allow yourself to be seen, then, you know, you can't be too much. You can't be too seen, and it's coming from a place of love. It's coming from a place of protection. I fully understand that. But then I started to dim myself, and then I started to doubt myself. And then it was like, is it scary to love? Is it bad? I'm a hugger. And people used to think that was weird, you know. Not everybody, but it was like, oh, don't be too touchy-feely, you know, don't. And then I started thinking, and then I started to shut down But then I started to lose parts of myself and then I started to fall out of love with myself because I felt like it was wrong to love. It was wrong to take too much appearance in my pride, whereas I saw pride as like, I enjoyed looking well and dressing well, and then I started to dim some parts of myself, and I started to think that maybe love was different, and that self-love was different, and that maybe if I just pleased everyone else in what made them happy, that is how people will like me, because I'm giving them what they need, and then maybe they will love me instead. Maybe I'm seeing love in a different way of what it really is. And so then I became a people pleaser, and I had zero boundaries, and I was all about making everyone else happy because it was wrong to make me happy, because that made me selfish and too much. And I think we all the journey for us is different, and it's about knowing that our conditioning and programming isn't the truth. The truth is the way you remember how you felt as a child, when you just saw a world full of love. There is only ever love. There will only ever be love. Love is always there. It sounds so cringy and cheesy to use the word love so much. But I am here for a life of legendary love. And I want to love as loud as possible, because it makes me feel good. It makes me happy, and I choose that. I choose to be the weirdo. I choose to be the one that people say, she's so weird, what's wrong with her? Maybe she can be annoying. She's just so happy. But I'm also a human who experiences sadness too, who experiences pain, who experiences, nobody's 100% happy all of the time. But 80% of the time, I'm happy because I choose me, and I choose things that fill me up. And I place boundaries, and I protect myself, and I protect my energy because I'm a better person for doing that. I prioritize my emotional well-being because I'm a better mum, I'm a better friend, I'm a better daughter, I'm a better wife. Because then I have so much extra to give, it just spills out. And that's how I get to hold the energy of my business, of my clients. People ask me why I get the energy to do all this all the time. It's because I prioritize myself. I do the things that I love, that fuel me. And I start my day in a way that lifts me up, mindfully. Journaling, meditation, yoga, gym. I will self-care myself from the inside out 100% of the time, and I will always choose me. And the funnest part about that is people know when I'm showing up, it's because I want to be there, and I bring the energy because I choose to be there. And no one ever wonders if they're forcing me to do something, or because I do it because I want to, and then I can contribute positively. I never want to be showering resentment onto someone unknowingly. I shared this in the group earlier. I attended this really amazing spiritual group earlier. It was just so wonderful with this most wonderful group of people, and we were talking about self-love and boundaries, and one of the things that came up was around resentment. You know, if we have nothing left to give and we're scraping from the barrel, then we can harness anger, and we can harness resentment when we're doing things that we don't really want to do because we feel like the choice has been taken out of our hands, but it's making someone else happy rather than ourselves. A mentor shared with me once, and this is just disturbs me now into always choosing myself, is that we shower resentment onto people unknowingly, and I never want anyone to ever feel that energy from me. That I'm like showering anger or resentment onto them because I'm doing this thing that I don't really want to do, but it pleases them. Like, I never want to be in that energy with anyone. And it allows me to have better and more nurtured relationships with people because they know that I am, if I'm there for it, 100%. And I love that so much because people know where they stand with me, and I know where I stand with them, and I teach people how to love me, which allows me to love them too. But it wasn't easy, and it feels scary and uncomfortable and stretchy when you first start to fully love on yourself. And it's going to bring up so many thoughts, feelings, emotions. There's going to be voices in your head that tell you, that you're selfish. People might respond to you differently too when you start placing boundaries, but boundaries are the most healthiest most loving thing we can do for everybody. Choosing you. When you're saying no to something, you're saying yes to something else. When you're saying no to something that doesn't serve you, you're saying yes to yourself. And people might push back, and people might start questioning, and people might tell you you've changed. Well, good. Yes, you have changed. Yes, I have changed, because I'm happy. And I'm happy now. And now I can be happy with you. I can sprinkle that happiness and joy onto you. And it's about people getting to know the new us. So much is going to shift and change when you start prioritizing your well-being, emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Choosing yourself 100% of the time, and the universe will support you in that every single moment, because the universe wants you to love yourself. You were born from love into this world, and the universe wants you. Love is the highest frequency, and connection to self and truth is the highest frequency. And when we're operating from that place of frequency, remember, and everything is energy, man, loving on yourself internally creates the most phenomenal external energetic shifts in your life. You become magnetic. You become magnetic. And you start attracting everything into your world, because your frequency, the frequency of the things that we want and that we desire, everything has a frequency attached to it. And everything has a value. We all value different things. But most of the time, the things that bring us the most happiest, the things that make us most happy, love, joy, peace, bliss, they're very, very high frequency, and the things that we want also have that high frequency too. And it's just like, boom, it comes into your world because you chose to love yourself. And it gives permission for every single person out there in the world to choose themselves. Not that anybody needs permission, but by you going after the things that you want, saying yes to you, choosing you, becoming happy, becoming this love magnet. Love magnet. Oh my goodness, what a word. Yeah, this love magnet. I'm just going to own that. That goes out into the world. People are attracted to that. And then they want, oh, I want what she's on. She's high on life. Being high on life is the best drug that has ever been, is a drug that's free and available to us. Healthy habits, filling yourself up, doing the things that you love. And people will start, when you choose to rise, it's about becoming self-led and leading yourself through the journey. And naturally, that energy, people start to rise with you. By you just loving on you, people want to start to come along. And if people fall away on the wayside, that's okay. It's safe to let go. It's safe to shift. It's safe to let go of the things that no longer serve you. Because you were born for this. You were born for this journey. You were born to fall in love with yourself and find a sense of a home, a connection back to your heart, to peel off all the things that no longer serve you, that are heavy and weighing down, to feel your heartbeat again, to feel the butterflies in your belly, to feel the tingling sensations of joy in your life, to move, to be free. Self-love creates that mental, emotional well-being that people actually want to be a part of. Some people will fall away, and that's okay. And I think that's the thing we fear most about this journey, is our sense of belonging, especially if we have fear of confrontation, and we can see placing boundaries as confrontational. And it brings up a fear in us, our sense of belonging, our tribal wounding. You know, hundreds of years ago, if you didn't follow the tribe or fit in, that love, safety and belonging, 3 core basic human needs, you were kicked out of the tribe and you would die because you couldn't survive in those times without the village. But we're living in very, very different times. But that conditioning, it stays and it runs deep. And our sense of belonging, if we feel that we have that confrontation, we're going to fall away from the tribe, people are going to be upset, that's it, we're going to be on our own and we're going to die. And the fear is so paralysing that it keeps us stuck. But it's time to change. And by you going first and setting that example and leading yourself, it allows us to change a generation, a whole human race, where they grow up to know that it's normal to love yourself. Of course, because it's the best thing. They don't know any different. Of course we self-love, because it just makes sense. That's what we want our future generation to come through. With it's unquestionable whether or not you love yourself. With it's unquestionable, it's just normality. They don't have to undo the conditioning, the programming, the layers that get put on us as we grow and navigate through life. Of course we self-love. Of course we go after our dreams and we honour ourselves and we prioritise our well-being and we do the things that make us feel good, of course, because why would we not? We just want to be born into that. But we've come from a generation, of a lot of wounding, and this is nobody's fault. Every human is there trying to do their best. We're all humans going out into this world trying to do our best to survive. There is never any judgment. But we do come from a generation where times were very different, but we're living in a very, very modern time now, and there's a lot of heartache and there's a lot of pain out there. And so it's our duty, it's your duty to go out and relearn how to love yourself and allow yourself to feel safe in that. It is safe to love yourself. Repeat after me, it's safe to love myself. It's safe to love myself. Hands to heart. It is safe to love myself. And it's the best thing I can do for myself and for everyone around me. And it's okay for things to shift and change. It's okay to outgrow, because your soul is calling you forward. Your higher self, your future self is there championing you and cheerleading you, as we always say. And I'm here to support you in this community. So keep in touch and let us know what you're going through. And the great thing is as well is that your sense of belonging feels iffy right now. If you are feeling that you don't really know where you belong in, or you've grown up feeling like you don't really know where you belong, the people in my community, the women I work with, generally come from that space of like, I was the black sheep, I was too much, I was dramatic, I was too sensitive, I didn't really know where I fit in, I was the weird one. The sense of belonging is always kind of being a bit, we don't really know. That's generally the women I work with. But the great news is the more that you can tap into your authentic self and love on yourself in that way, you will attract your people into your world. You will find a greater sense of belonging than you've ever had. And sure, if that comes through a process of having to grieve old relationships and let go of certain parts, the self-love journey comes with a process of letting go too. So it's important for us to be compassionate with ourselves. It's important for us to be kind with ourselves. Again, all part of the self-love journey. And I'm going to dive deeper into these topics as we go along. And I want to support you through this as much as possible, because this is the key. This is the gold. And doing this journey alone, no one should do this journey alone. And you don't have to. And being in community is just such a beautiful thing, because we all get to hold and support each other and learn from each other too. And you'll find there's a lot of me too moments. When people can share vulnerably their journey, you're like, oh, me too, I'm not alone. That happened to me, I experienced that. That was my background. Oh wow, I wasn't weird after all. Oh, this is my people. This is my place. So we love on ourselves through the process of learning to love ourselves and being kind. And your sense of belonging, once everything feels a bit disruptive in the beginning, it feels shifting, it feels changing, it feels new, and it feels weird, and it feels uncomfortable. And that is okay. It's new. We're playing in a new realm. We're becoming, someone new, and we're reconnecting to ourselves. We're peeling back those layers. We're finding ourselves. We're remembering parts of ourselves. And you find people coming to your world, and that's your tribe. Your tribe starts to come to you. You find your people coincidentally. It feels coincidentally, but nothing is ever coincidence. Like energy attracts like energy. And you find your people, and then your sense of belonging feels more stronger, grounded and rooted than ever before, and it's the most sensational feeling. So even if you're in a place right now where you feel like things feel uncomfortable, it feels a bit unearthing, it feels a bit unrooted, that's so normal, and we're here to hold you through it, because I promise you with every ounce of my being, and I know this to be true through my personal experience, working with my clients and being in this space and the spaces that I've been in for a very long time, that love always wins. And the result on the other side of it, I just like I said yesterday, I just want to bottle it up and give it to you, and I wish I absolutely could. So choose yourself. And as I shared yesterday, it's about taking the tiny micro movements, the compound effect. What's one thing I can do today to love on myself a little bit more than I did yesterday? How can I become my own best friend? How would I treat a best friend in this situation, this scenario? You know, we beat ourselves up so much. We abuse ourselves. We abandon ourselves. We wouldn't abandon a best friend if they called us 2 o'clock in the morning and needed us. We'd be there, especially us people pleasers. Call me all the time and I'll be there. Be that for yourself. Ask yourself. Again, this is just awareness. It's just, at this stage, it's just about awareness. And knowing it's okay, again, for the journey to be messy. None of this has to be perfect. It all unfolds exactly as it's meant to, and it's all okay in any given moment. But if you find yourself feeling down on yourself, ask yourself the question, what do I need? What do you need in that moment? What would you do for a best friend? Do that for yourself. Would you offer to take them out for a coffee? Take yourself for a coffee. Would you buy them flowers? Buy yourself flowers. You know, would you hug them? Hug yourself. When was the last time you gave yourself a hug? It's a really nice somatic hug where you can hug yourself here under your heart and rub your shoulder. I know some of you are going to do this at home, and I really hope you do. And just hug, and just feel the warmth of that. It's beautiful, it's peaceful. Would you invite your friend on a walk? Take your friend on a walk. You know, there's a little person inside of you that needs you. And they need that love that only you can give you. Don't abandon them anymore, because they need you. And you need you. And it's all inside of you. So just let that be a reminder, and practice that more. Practice when you're in those moments, when you find yourself, the inner critic's loud, you're beating yourself up, you're shaming yourself. That's not the truth. It's conditioning, programming, it's society voices and influence. And you just take a moment to step back from that and pause. What do I need? How can I give myself more of that? What does that little me inside need? Because you wouldn't abandon her. You wouldn't shame her. If little you came to you, experienced this emotional circumstance or situation, or had these thoughts and feelings, you would hug them, you would love on them, you would pour into them. One super cute thing that you could do, this is so helpful, is find a picture of yourself. I want to give you a little implementable. I love to make up words too, if you don't know that about me just yet. But actionable things that you can take away as well, because I really want you to get so much out of these 30 days. I don't just want to give you knowledge. I want you to really take any moments of wisdom that come through from these lives. And so I want to provide you with some tools also, and some things that you can do to help you in your journey. And a really cool, cute little thing to do is find a photo of yourself from when you were small and pop it somewhere where you can see it, on your mirror. When you look at yourself daily, look at this photo of you and the innocence of your childlike self, and how much you would love on them, and the love that they needed. And perhaps there was love that they needed as a child that wasn't received in the way that they needed to. Not through anybody's fault. All our grown-up experiences as they are, and as parents and everybody, we're all trying to do the best that we can. But sometimes we've had needs that have been unmet, and you get to give yourself those moments of love now. And so I really encourage you to do that. It's super cute. So the cuddle, the love, taking yourself out, dating yourself, start small. Make a list of the things that you love to do, the things that bring you joy. You know, one of the questions I always ask my clients when we start working together is, what do you love? And you know, so many times the answer is, I don't know. I know what everyone else loves. What makes you happy? I don't know. But I know what makes everyone else happy. We've lost that for ourselves. And so just make a list. Look at me giving you all the things, all the tools. You don't have to take all of these away today, but if one of these feels good and feels like, yeah, that's something I'm willing to give a go, write a list of things that you love. And if it's just one thing, if you can only muster up one thing, let it be one. If you write out 5 or you write out more and it starts pouring out and you remember, this is about remembering who you are, not finding something outside of yourself. We feel like we're lost and we feel like I need to find myself, but you're never lost. You're always there. Your true self is always available. She's still in there. She's still in there. She just needs your love and focus and time and energy, and she deserves that and you deserve that. So write down a list of things that you love, and today or tomorrow, just do the one thing and allow yourself to fully be in it. It doesn't matter whether it's a hot bubble bath or, I don't know, I was going to say hugging a tree, that just came up for me. Touching the warmth of a tree is something that I really love. Tree bark, I have an obsession with palm trees. That's something else you might not know about me. But the main point is, start connecting to the things that you love and the things that bring you joy. And doing the small things, let those cogs turn. And then when one thing shifts and another, and before you know it, it feels so good to love on yourself that you don't want to ever stop loving on yourself in the end, because you start to feel the joy in the energy of it. And it feels so icky to not love yourself after that, because you feel so good. It's like, I want to keep this feeling forever. But it takes a while and it takes practice. And this is our life's journey, is a practice. It's all a practice, 100% of the time. So I hope this share has been helpful today. I hope you've taken away some tools. Let me know in the comments if there's something that you feel could benefit you, if there's a step that you're going to take today, if there was any light bulb moments, any aha moments, insights, any value that you've received over these past couple of days. I would love to know. I'd love to know if you choose to do the picture, if you choose to give yourself a hug, take yourself out, date yourself. Let me know. Let's do this journey together as a collaboration, because it's so much fun, and it's so much fun when we get to do it together. So thank you once again for being here. Again, I'm pretty confident we're live, and that we've managed to record something, and we've seen it through despite the windy storm and the chaos going around outside. We managed to create calm inside. That's awesome. And I'll catch up on any comments. If you're watching this on replay, please let me know. Invite anyone to this group as well if you feel they would resonate with this work, this vibe, resonate with me, and this could benefit them in any way, because I really want to share my heart with as many people as possible. So sending you all massive, massive love and self-love, and I'll catch you tomorrow for day 4.